The best is still to come. This is especially evident to Raz Khan as he holds his first child. During the week, Raz works as a builder, fabricating beautiful furniture and art installations for various events and organizations, including Passion. And on Sundays, he's one of the many people who serve and give and worship Jesus at Passion City Church. This is Kristen Hall, a vibrant 26-year-old. 3 years ago, she left her community in Atlanta in order to be a part of launching Passion City Church, Washington, D.C. Every single week, Kristen works to serve her city and create a place where everyone is welcome. This is John and Susan Goodson, who faithfully serve at the 515 location on the security team and touch team. When the pandemic began earlier this year, they joined in the efforts of Passion City Church to support and celebrate the thousands of frontline workers in Atlanta who were risking their lives for others. This is Lauren Bennett, who serves behind the scenes at Passion City Church. She's a part of the staff team who spent a full year before the pandemic building and refining the process for a future online gathering, which would one day be viewed by over 2 million people. This is John and Lainey Williams, two of the door holders at Passion City Church, D.C., who take every opportunity to tell others about Jesus. Each week, they're asking themselves, who can I invite to church? This is Nicholas Reynolds, who has served multiple times as a door holder at Passion Conference. Nicholas is a frontline worker who lives in Atlanta, but who has made himself available to serve wherever he's needed most. During the pandemic, he's commuted multiple times to New York City and most recently to Miami. This is Cameron Reed. During the pandemic, Cameron has served nearly every Sunday. As a production door holder, Cameron helps with what's called a dolly camera. On some weeks, he's the one pushing the dolly back and forth hundreds of times. On other weeks, he's the one operating the camera. He may not be seen, but the efforts of his generosity are seen by many. This is Joanne, who lives in Washington, D.C., and who, on Easter Sunday this year, decided to check out Passion's online gatherings for the first time. Joanne had spent years of her life wondering what was true about God and wondering where she belonged. But on Easter Sunday, she heard the gospel clearly. She texted ALIVE to 33864, and she put her faith in Jesus. Afterwards, she told a friend, I finally feel that I'm home. This is Maddie, a young trauma nurse in Lexington, Kentucky, who walked into Passion 2020 earlier this year, having wrestled with suicidal thoughts for the last 10 years and ready to end it all. She listened as speakers like Ravi Zacharias spoke about Jesus rescuing him from suicide and the deep love and value that God has for each of us. Maddie realized that she was precious to God and that her story could be used for His glory. This is Emma, a teenager who lives in the countryside near Madison, Wisconsin. Earlier this year, on Instagram, she saw Sadie Robertson Huff post about Passion's online Easter gathering. And that Easter Sunday, Emma joined the gathering, heard the message of hope, and decided to put her trust in Jesus. But then she decided to tell her younger sister, Stella, about what she'd seen. And Stella began watching Passion City online, and she decided to put her trust in Jesus. And then both sisters told their older brother Brian about what they'd seen and heard, and he decided to watch as well. And he too heard the gospel and decided to put his trust in Jesus. Each person, each story is a part of the above and beyond. Each is a part of a miracle, woven together by the hand of God. When Emma, Stella, and Brian each met Jesus while watching Passion's online gathering, they didn't know that 700 miles away, a young man named Cameron Reed was one of the door holders who was serving faithfully to create that online experience. And Cameron didn't know that a year earlier, Lauren Bennett was working behind the scenes to get the details in place for a future online gathering that would be financially supported by the gifts given to Above and Beyond. When Maddie was standing in Mercedes-Benz Stadium, realizing that she was a daughter of God and her life was worth living, she didn't know that among the thousands of door holders who were there to serve was Nicholas Reynolds, the frontline worker, who a few months later would find himself being cheered on in a parade of vehicles that included John and Susan Goodson, during a time when Passion City Church was giving thousands of meals and supplies to frontline workers, paid in part by the gifts that had been given to Above and Beyond. Having given her life to Jesus on Easter, Joanne has now decided that she wants to be baptized. But the only reason Joanne watched the Easter gathering was because her co-worker, John Williams, had been asking her to come to church for weeks and months on end. And part of the reason that John and Lainey Williams were so eager to invite others is because they knew that people like Kristen Hall had been working for years to create a place where the whole city would feel welcome. A place called Passion City Church DC that was launched in 2017 with the gifts that were given to Above and Beyond. And who has given these gifts to Above and Beyond? Thousands of people, everyday people, builders like Raz Khan, those who are holding on to the future, believing that the best is still to come.